Yannick, how are you doing?
Very well, thank you very much.
So you're here with us today to tell us a bit about Rofin-Sinar and the different solutions you have in the CO2 laser business.
Yes, exactly. So good morning and welcome to the booth, the Rofin-Sinar booth. I'm Yannick Gallet, I'm the sales manager for Rofin. As you can see on the booth, we have a selection of our lasers. Mainly, we only make sealed CO2 lasers. We manufacture, design in the UK and export 98% of our production worldwide. We have here only a few examples of our lasers. We've got the OEM series and the SR series. The OEM series is here represented by the 45IX, which is a 450 watt laser rated. It is a compact design with an integrated RF and has an IP rating of 66, so it could be used in very harsh environment. One of the key applications for this laser is in the textile industry and more specifically for the jean industry, where you can pattern the jeans, bleach them, or put any sort of motif and pictures. It's a very reliable laser. It's been installed worldwide for the last 10 years without many problems. And it comes with different options according to the applications you want to have. It also comes in different wavelengths in order to process different kind of materials. We also have here on display today the SR series. The SR series is also on the same concept as the OEM 45IX. Basically, it's a compact design, quite light, with a laser source and the RF. It is also IP66, which means that it could be used in very harsh environments, such as maybe wood factory, glass factories, or even in breweries, for example. Again, here it's a very compact design. It comes with several options and 3 wavelengths, and this allows you to process materials such as polypropylene, plastic, metals, thin foil metals, and it is used in applications such as automotive, again textile, the glass industry for marking, logo printing, etc. We also have here the fastest marking machine on the market. This machine can print up to 1,200 characters per second. And just to give you an idea, when it is used in a brewery, you can print a serial number up to 72,000 bottles an hour. So that gives you an idea of the kind of speed we can achieve with this laser. It's a plug in and play, and more or less plugging and forget. It's so reliable that there is very little maintenance to be done. I'm just going to touch quickly on a last thing, which is our partner Irradion. We have now a partnership with Irradion, and we represent their lasers here in Europe. It's a good match because Irradion has a power level from 30 watt to 120 watt, and their lasers are air-cooled, so they're addressing a different market. And that gives us a much wider customer base, potential customer base, and opportunities. On the Irradion side, you can see 3 lasers here. You've got a 30 watt laser, and here 60 or 80 watt laser. They are air-cooled, as you can see. So in some applications where weight and the complexity of the system is key, having an air-cooled system without all the ancillaries like the chiller could be a good option. It's a good candidate for marking, but also 2D cutting tables. For example, if you want to replace glass tubes, you can easily replace them by these more reliable lasers. The technology is very different because it's based on a ceramic core. So it gives some great advantage in terms of race times and fall time and speed of processing. So as I said, we are now representing Irradion lasers in Europe. Last thing I'd like to touch on, it's only 1 minute. It's in Hull. We have an application lab, and we do a lot of testing on behalf of customers. We have flying optic machines, we have galvo machines, and the power range goes from 100 watt to 650 watt. So if anyone has a project, wants a concept, we can do the testing for them, qualify the power level, qualify the wavelength, but also advise on beam delivery system, what is the best option. Obviously we're not concept manufacturer, but we can point people towards the right direction. So that's one thing I just wanted to mention if there is any project people want to develop.
Rofin-Sinar is now one of the market leaders when it comes to marking, but you can see new niche markets. You can hear and see some of the solutions they offer. We are talking about printing on textiles, one of the biggest markets that we're going to have in the use of lasers in the production of consumer products. It is clear for us that until now, especially in the jeans market, we've been using stone washing, which is not very environmentally friendly.
That's right, yes.
This is the era of lasers helping the environment, right?
Exactly, and for this application we use the OEM 45. The good thing also is you can change your pattern at a click of a button. You don't have to need any sort of tools or pattern. You can just download a program into the laser, and within seconds you've got a new pattern and your jean production is on the go. As you said, from an environmental point of view, it's very friendly.
Yeah.
There is no emission of any gas, any chemicals, so it is very environmentally friendly.
Let's talk a bit about CO2 lasers. It's one of my passion. I cannot hide that CO2 lasers are one of the things that makes me the most excited at Epic. In my opinion, Epic will always help you with both sides of the supply chain, your potential suppliers and your potential customers. One of the biggest unmet needs of CO2 laser-based material processing is the optics. What is the biggest challenge that you have in the optics side for the beam shape?
Right, it's true that when you take some laser, the beam is not worked on. So you may end up at the end of the laser with a triangular or diamond shaped beam, and with satellites all around. Our design is already taking care of the beam shape. So we've got a spatial filter inside the design, and the beam is already collimated when it comes out. So you've got a very round, symmetrical beam at the end. It's also about 6-8 millimeters, 11 millimeters according to the power level. So you may only need a telescope, or sometimes you don't even need any other optics. If you go to your galvo head, you straight away can work with the beam as it is. So you're absolutely right. The beam shaping is key, and because we have taken this into consideration in the design, there's very little to be done by the end customer.
In cutting or in marking, the specs of the CO2 lasers are unmet by any other of the technologies that could initially compete in terms of power or speed. Final one.
I just wanted to add also that because we've got different wavelength, 10.6, 1025, 9.3, in the packaging industry you can address a lot of different substrates or different materials like paper, polypropylene, polyethylene, and according to the material you want to process, even foil, even aluminum back foil, you could cut with a laser. So we've got solution for every single material you want to process.
One of the biggest challenges for any high power laser is always the cooling. I have seen that Iridium is using air cooling. Rofin-Sinar, you have been using different types of cooling in the past, from water cooling all the way to air cooling, all the way to try to aim for the uncooled market. What is, in your opinion, the key solution that you can provide based on the different powers?
I mean, we always recommend, and that's why the design is based on water cooling. The water cooling will give you an enhanced stability of the beam, and therefore the more stable is the beam, We also have a very short or range of wavelength fluctuation, so you'll have high repeatability and process speed. So we would always recommend water cooling, and we set the level of the water according to the environment and the water flow to match the application. But water cooling, we believe, even on robotic application, is the way to go to get the best results.
At Epic, we try to connect our members with different parts of the supply chain. In the robotic market, we are trying to connect them with companies in positioning and motioning tools. Companies like, for example, PI are members of Epic and helping the photonics companies link to the robotic companies. One final question. When it comes to the high-power laser markets, many companies are struggling now with laser eye safety. Is there any recommendations that you give to your customers when they buy one of these machines?
Yes, we have a presentation to show them how to safeguard the working environment around the laser. You have to remember this is not a YAG laser or fiber laser, so it's much easier. But yes, we do advise in terms of beam stop, guarding all around the workplace, making sure that the operators are protected and not put their hands in the beam path. So we do, yes, advise customers about that. Most of our customers already know the business, so sometimes it's quite simple advice, sometimes a bit more complex. And that's why having the apps lab, we can then add more content to what we do by advising, as you said, on the guarding, but maybe also on the extraction, cooling, etc. And we supply a solution from an advisory point of view.
At Epic, we organize 30 events per year. Business events, 40 people, 1 person per company, connecting technology with applications. We went to Trumpf to have a business meeting on laser industry. We are going to have business meetings on laser industry for automotive in the future. Our idea always is that the users are the ones who can give us the challenges, and the Epic members, the ones who can provide the solutions. Yannick, thank you very much for your time. It was fun.